What is your yearly goal that you want to make? And once you figure out what your yearly goal is that you want to make, let's work backwards. He taught me how to work backwards with that number. Taking the big number, there are 4 quarters in a year. We're going to break that number down in 4 quarters. There are 4 weeks in a month. We're going to break that down to now 4 weeks. There are now days in those weeks. We're going to break that down. Now, what are you selling? What are you doing? How many children does that look like? How many products does that look like to get to that end goal? So really figuring out how to do it and work backwards.
Welcome everyone to the From Chaos to Clarity Unleash Your Business Potential podcast. I am your host, Sonia Jones of GIP Financials, your Mr. Biagio Bunny. And today I have Miss Shemika Maddox of She Finds Success. And Shemika and I connected through, I want to say it was the Donnie Wiggins Mastermind Challenge. Yeah, the Donnie Wiggins Challenge. And we connected from there and just kind of been seeing each other on social media. And so as entrepreneurs are growing and things like that, I just really want to take the time to ask individual entrepreneurs about their business money journey, right? Because I think that that's so important. We always talk about the end, right? Not say rags to riches, but the ending of it. But we don't ever talk about the journey, for us getting to how my financial knowledge reached my business to this particular level of success. So that's why we're here. That's what we're talking about, how we go from chaos to clarity in our business. So, Miss Shemika, tell us a little bit about She Finds Success.
First off, I love the name, From Chaos to Clarity, because as entrepreneurs, that is typically what the life looks like, right? And how long that chaos lasts really solely depends on your blueprint. But She Finds Success is a lifestyle hub, and my biggest thing is the foundation of my business, which is my faith. And I help women scale or grow their first 7-figure business through clarity, confidence, and strategies. And so I'm taking everything that I've learned and knowing that at some point, no one gave me the opportunity to do the things that I'm doing as empowering other females, sharing a wealth of knowledge, building a strong community, and working as towards as collaboration and not competition has been a God-sent gift to me and so many others. So that is what the foundation of She Finds Success is about.
I love that. Building success together, and then just being transparent within the journey to help other people. I love that. So with that being said, let's talk about the financial aspect of your business, your financial journey rather. So let's talk about that. So with She Finds Success, who does your bookkeeping, and can you kind of walk us through what tracking your financials looks like?
So originally I will have to share this story from the beginning, and I'll cut it short as I can. So I remember in December, right before Christmas, I looked at my bank account because I'm about to go splurge. It's Christmas, right? And child, the IRS don't put a whole freeze on my account. And I was at that moment like in tears. I remember being on the floor crying and saying like, how is my account frozen? Like my money is gone. And payroll was that next Monday. I told everybody to meet me here so that we can go and actually have a day of shopping for Christmas. And I ain't got no money. That's when I really knew that I had to learn how to figure out my numbers, because I'd always had an accountant that I thought was doing my monthly bookkeeping and keeping the things together because that's what I pay you to do, right? That's not what happened. So I owed so much to the IRS, and they get their money first, to the point where they had seized my account because I owed back taxes for payroll taxes. And that was the first time that I really had to find someone that not only knew how to do the numbers, knew how to work with the IRS because I was in a situation, knew how to work on the legal stand of it, and really teach me through this journey. Because at that point I said I will never pay a person to do anything for me and I not know how to do it myself, at least the basics, to at least know what's going on.
Mhm.
And I hired a CPA, and he has been God sent, and I don't have a childcare facility anymore, but he really helped me to learn how to look at my numbers, to really scale my numbers, to really budget for my business. So kudos to Muhammad. He really specializes in, childcare owners, but I don't know. I don't care. He knows numbers and he knows the IRS. So he's going to forever be my CPA.
Wonderful, wonderful. Shout
Shout
out to
out to
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
That's what I'm talking about. So, just to recap a couple of things that you mentioned that were really key in this situation. So, before and again, thank you for just being super transparent about your journey, because I'm pretty sure there are entrepreneurs that are, kind of, scared of wanting to grow their business because of circumstances, such as yours, right? And they just have to hear, like, as long as you be proactive and put yourself in a position, right, to safeguard with experts. But in some circumstances, those experts, right, don't put you in the best light. So, can I ask you, the person that handled your business before, was that primarily a tax person? Did they say they were a tax person or a bookkeeper or
No, they
CPA?
were a bookkeeper, and I paid them more than I actually paid my CPA monthly because they did everything. They were supposed to pay my bills for me every month. They did a third party for the honestly the payroll because we paid one of the HR systems, but
Mm-hmm.
they were handling everything. So it
Yeah,
was a bookkeeping services that did the information every month. And at the end of the year, they were supposed to file my
yeah.
taxes, and they did my personal and my business.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So one of the key things here, y'all, when you are interviewing for your, financial partner, whether it's a bookkeeper, a CPA, one, you got to ask questions, because even though it's a bookkeeper, you cannot assume that they, do taxes. You can't assume that the CPA will do bookkeeping, right? Because sometimes the CPA, like Shamika said, a lot of CPAs
Hmm.
are niched out, right? And have specialties. And depending on how their firm is organized, they may not have bookkeeping or offer that. Maybe they just do taxes, or maybe more high level like advisory services. So I would advise anybody first, get your wish list together. What do you want this partner to do for you? Because just like what Mika said, they work
Hmm.
for you. They work for you. So you need to get a notebook, boop, write your stuff down, what you want your tax preparer, your bookkeeper, whatever to do. Interview them, right, like a job, and even just check the vibe between the two of y'all. If you got a lot of questions and they sitting up here like, you wasting my time, they're not the person for you, right? This is very much like dating,
Absolutely.
okay? Because you guys are going to be rocking together for a
Yes.
minute. So you make sure that you do your due diligence, right? I love it, love it, love it, love it. And so we talked about your journey, Shamika, about going from financial chaos, right, to having Muhammad, and Muhammad's doing his thing. Um, let's talk about the financial data. So, if there's any, was there any piece of data that Muhammad has shared with you or is sharing with you now that kind of gave you a light bulb to say, you know what, I didn't even think about that. How can I implement this in my business? How I can use this to make my
Yeah,
business grow?
absolutely. One thing I appreciate about, my CPA is he had me really sit down and really taught me, which I teach that same principle to my clients now. What is your yearly goal that you want to make? And once you figure out what your yearly goal is that you want to make, let's work backwards. He taught me how to work backwards with that number, taking the big number. There are 4 quarters in a year. We're going to break that number down in 4 quarters. There are 4 weeks in a month. We're going to break that down to now 4 weeks. There are now days in those weeks. We're going to break that down. Now, what are you selling? What are you doing? How many children does that look like? How many products does that look like to get to that end goal? So really figuring out how to do it and work backwards. Not only that, even though you have an end goal, he really taught me the principle of saying and knowing, is this the end goal before or after profit? Because those are two different numbers. You have payroll taxes, which I will never get behind on again. And you have your lifestyle. So like, what is it that you really want to see? And how do you really want your life to look like, your business to look like? What is your mission and vision behind that entire statement? So I really think him just really showing me how to look at numbers as a whole and really breaking those down to the penny really was instrumental in how I scaled my business really fast, because I saw that if I wasn't doing enough, or if I wasn't touching enough people or enough people in the community, then I'm not going to get to my end goal. So that means I need to be very intentional on where my time is.
I love that. Oh, I love that. And that's pretty much the same strategy that I use with my clients, as well as GIP financials. And it's just easier to think about it that way. If you start with your desired income, right? And then just like Shimika said about breaking it down by quarter, by month, by week, by day, and then you can think about the services that you provide, and whether it's a low ticket or high ticket item, that one high ticket item, depending on how much it's priced, can cover you for the week or the day, depending on what your goal is, right? And then think about it. You'll have more confidence to say, you know what? If I can focus on this offer, that'll tie me for the whole week. Let's go. Let's
Yes.
get it in. Right? Or just like you said with daycare, how many babies do you need to have enrolled in order to get to XYZ? And then that can also allow you to think outside the box as far as what additional services that you can provide also to help you, bring in, more income. And then the second thing Shamika said is that there's a difference between cash and profit, right? That net profit, again, is your gross revenue minus your expenses, whatever is left, that's your net operating income, right? And then even with that, right, as far as that's how you really track, another way to track your goals. If you track your expenses, if your net operating income is at a loss, we need to go back and look at some things, right? Are you undercharging in your products? Are you overspending in expenses? Things like that. So that's why you need to have an expert to kind of help you, in those circumstances. And then another thing, talking about cash in hand, a lot of my clients will look at that, look at that profit and loss, and be like, "What? I got $10,000. How come I only got $2 in the bank? Because you spent it."
Mhm. It's real. It's real.
Right? So, right. So that's why we always talk about, commingling. In most cases, in situations like this, it's always, maybe taking a little bit too much out in your
Yeah.
owner's draw, or if you're an S Corp, a shareholder distribution, things like that. Sometimes you have to take that money and guess what, reinvest it back into the
Yes.
business, right? And then find a way from on your end, whether it might be keep staying at your 9 to 5 a little bit longer or bringing in another source of income, right? Because at the end of the day, as your business is growing, if you want to, seek out a loan, or if you're seeking out a
Mm-hmm.
grant, because both of them are going to want to see your
Absolutely.
numbers, especially those grantors, because they want to make sure that the
It's
money
gonna
that they're
be
giving you is to a legit.
absolutely
I mean, you want to make sure that you out here doing what you're supposed to do for
right.
the
Right.
community.
Absolutely.
Amen. Right. So we talked about bookkeeping. We talked about financial data. Let's talk about how are you investing in your business outside of bookkeeping? What are some things that entrepreneurs need to be
So
aware of?
first and foremost, one of the biggest things my CPA knows is his first question is, how much are you spending this year on mentorship, masterminds, professional development, because he already knows that I am going to always be a lifetime learner. Like I'm gonna be in somebody's classroom, at somebody's
Mm-hmm.
table, in somebody,
Yes, ma'am.
master class, because I know that I need to constantly feed my spirit, like financially, faithfully. I need to make sure we're still learning because I always have something out there that I need to learn. So most importantly, I'm going to be investing in my professional development, point blank period, to get me to the next level and to share that information that I have, paid at a high level to give to my clients. Secondly, I always talk about your brand. You are your brand. So I'm going to invest in my brand. And by investing in my brand, that means making sure that I am showing up. I tell my clients all the time, I need for you to dress the way you want to be addressed. Okay. So if you want to be
Mm-hmm.
dressed at a high level, then you need to look like you high level. And I truly believe that when people see you, they need to know that your product is a high value product. What you're going to be given to them has to be
Mm-hmm.
put together because you're put together. So most importantly, the two things that I definitely invest in is, of course, the professional development in my business as well as my lifestyle brand. And I'm not saying I splurge and go out and, enjoy my life and go on trips. No, I'm the brand, so I look like my brand. So those are the two important things because again, I teach confidence, clarity, and strategy. So I need to make sure I'm investing in those things.
Wonderful. So basically, Mika just called me out. She told me I had to curl my hair.
I did not say that.
No, this Shamika, take my
I didn't say it
name.
because you know what? Hey,
All right.
if you, that's you. However your style is, whatever your brand is, be your brand and be authentically your brand. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. This is just how I like to be.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm just saying I was just messing with you because, baby, I will. This is my signature,
Yes, and wear your brand.
a thing. But yeah, but yes, I definitely on brand, but that makes so much sense because especially one of the things that I can say with GIP Financials because I took headshots, I took professional headshots, I took some in our, green blazer with brand coats, but I also took some with the hoodie on because I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that the clientele saw us in more
Absolutely.
relaxed that you can come to us as a partner, let's
Yes.
chop it up as opposed to a lot of stigma when it comes to bookkeeping, accountants, any financial expert. A lot of people come to us
Hmm.
intimidated, right? It's like that's not what this is
Yeah.
about. We're here to help you. We break things down. Don't come to us shame like, so you don't be mad at me. I know my numbers jacked up. I was like, I know, but that's why you
Absolutely.
call me.
That's
That's
why
why
you're
we're
here.
here.
That's why you're in business,
Right?
right?
Right, exactly. I love that. Thank you for that. So now we talked about investing in the business, but how does Mika invest in Mika? Because baby, after she finds success, you gotta take
You got
that
to take
cape
it off because
off.
we are not superwoman. She is successful, but she has to have some self care. And I'm not talking about self care
Yes.
meaning going to the spa, although I do love my spa membership. For me, I'm on
Mm-hmm.
this thing with my community, 75 Hard. And self care to me means things like that. So it means for us to drink a gallon of water a day, or make sure you're drinking water a day, setting your alarm to eat lunch or to eat breakfast, making sure that you are intentional about your me time. Like we are challenging the women that are in
Mm-hmm.
our community right now for 45 minutes a day, that you do some type of meditation, some type of yoga. And in that
Mm-hmm.
time, you're not looking at TV, you're listening to some calming music. You're listening to some music that has you in a place with God, some inspirational things, and you're just with yourself. Because how many times are we with someone
Right.
else or we're pouring into others, but what about pouring back into ourselves? And then, two, being very intentional with
Mm-hmm.
reading a book. I thought it was here. It is here somewhere. I just can't find it. It's called 365
Okay.
Days Praying Through It. So, getting back to what our foundation is, because I have no shame in who my foundation is. I am a woman of faith. So, those are the
Mm-hmm.
things that are so important to me when I say
Yeah.
self care. And I teach my community how to do that as well because we forget to do those things first. You can't take care of anyone if you aren't taking care of yourself. And you can't pour from a glass that is empty.
That's right. You are exactly right. And I've appreciated, I know you've been doing the Instagram lives in the morning. And so I know that that's the book is the source of where you know, talk a lot about, you know, on your morning talks on Instagram live. So I appreciate that. And y'all, I agree, you know, you have to have, you know, some type of like, you got to be
Mm-hmm.
still. You got to be still. And I'll be honest, I'm still practicing that. And you got to find in a groove that works for you. For me right now, it works better for me. Like after I drop my baby
Right.
off at school and the house
Mm-hmm.
is quiet, right? But even in that, like you have to also be aware of, you know, in different seasons what
Mm-hmm.
you need because like I work from the
Yes.
house a lot, but now I notice in order for me to be productive, I'm gonna have to go away
Mm-hmm.
from the house, a co-working space, Starbucks, or a restaurant, library to get all my stuff, put all my
Yes.
stuff on the table and just hit it, you know, because being in one place sometimes can, you know, lead to some
Absolutely.
stagnation and stuff like that. Right. And as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you stay productive and do what you need to do to feel you. Because especially as a startup, we are doing all of the things. We're wearing all
Mm-hmm.
of the hats. And you got to make sure that you're in a place where you can start delegating. And sometimes you need to do that in a different environment. Sometimes you need to do that with a coach,
Yes.
right? Sometimes you need to do that in community. And I highly every entrepreneur needs to be in an entrepreneurial community because your spouse, your significant other, your kids don't need to be hearing you bark, bark,
Mm-hmm.
bark, bark, bark
Yep.
all the time because they're not gonna understand, and that's gonna make you
Yes.
even mad. Right? So you need to be around some folks that understand. Like we got you, sis. I know you. I understand, but we got to get up tomorrow. We still got to get
Yes.
it in, right? So, did you have any anything you want to share about
I
that?
really would just say I like the thing that you said about, you're taking slow measurements in regards to working on your self care. And I just want any female that is listening, just know that this journey is about you. This journey means you starting where you
Mhm.
are. I tell people all the time, don't wait to make it the perfect scenario or situation. There is no perfect moment. You have to, it's just like having a baby. You can plan for a baby, but when it happens, it happens. And you learn as you go. And
Right.
I learned from a community that I used to be in, just do it ugly. And I promise you, it's going to get better and better and better in time. And by you showing up authentically, you're teaching someone else that, look at me, I don't know it all. I tell people all the time in my community, look here, I'm making a commitment right now for me. Y'all gonna get the benefit, but this is for me. I'm starting where I am. I'm starting every day in little things that I'm doing, and I'm being intentional. I'm writing them down. They're in my face. Just start. Start somewhere. Don't think there has to be a true end goal. Start with small, measurable goals, and you will be so amazed that in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, how much you've increased your confidence, the clarity on what God has the purpose for you. And you've also had some strategies that you've put together because you started. So get ready, get started, and go really find success for you and not for anyone else.
Amen. Amen. I love that. I love that. So as we're wrapping up, Shamika, last question. So, what advice would you give entrepreneurs about their business finances?
So, first, I would say for your business finances, know what your real goal is, realistic goals, because you having a goal is going to be something that you've got to put in the work at that level. So, I hear people say these huge numbers all the time, but those numbers come with work, with commitment, with consistency. And then once you have your number, find you someone that can empower you, support you, tell you the truth. Because my CPA has told me plenty of times, put it back. You don't have it. You may see it, but put it back because that's not a part of the plan. If you have some big plans in your life to go some big places in your life, find you somebody that's going to give you the power to do it. And the power is through your numbers. You have to know your numbers. Someone has to be able to teach you how to know your numbers. I'm grateful for my CPA because he doesn't just give me the information or the resources. He's walking me through it. Like, listen, look at this, log in. He doesn't even do most of the things. He'll tell me, log in, do this. And if you don't have the time, I get it. But in the beginning of your process, the beginning of your journey, you need to learn the process. And once you learn the process, you can be very comfortable in knowing that somebody has your best interest at hand and you know, like, and trust them to keep your business going. That is the only way you can scale. You cannot scale without a team behind you that knows real numbers. And they need to know the IRS too, because they have to be in your circle too. Okay?
Right. I love that. I love that. So you heard it here from the coaching daycare expert, Mika Maddox of She Finds Success. Thank you again for taking the time to share with our audience your business finance journey. How can others connect
Well,
with you?
women of faith are who I work with. And if you are looking to scale to a 7-figure business or grow your first 7-figure business and brand, you can reach me because we talk about building the confidence, the clarity, and the strategies behind those things to be successful. But reach me at She Finds Success because why not have you be the person that's going to be successful and build that legacy for your family? And I'm going to help you with that journey. I'm going to empower you through that journey and put you around people that are going to open up doors, resources, tables, master classes, masterminds to really help you thrive in your journey in 2024.
Love it. Love it. What are your social media handles? What you got?
Everything is at She Finds Success. I just want to leave you guys with this. This year, we're leading with unapologetically thriving. So make sure that if you really want to unapologetically thrive,
All right.
you
That's what
connect
I'm
with
talking
us.
about. I want to be unapologetically thriving. But first, I got to curl my hair out. Oh my goodness. No, I was just playing. But y'all, thank you guys so much for listening to the From Chaos to Clarity podcast. Unleash your business potential.
Yeah,
Thank you again, Shamika, for like again sharing your journey with us and taking the time.
you're
I'm
welcome.
Sonia Jones of GFP Financials or Mr. Biagi Money, and we will catch you on the next episode.